My name is Rob. I'll be your master of ceremonies tonight. In just a couple of moments, we're going to have our wedding party come through those doors. But before we do that, let's introduce some important people we have here in the room tonight. The parents of the bride, Judy and Corey Schuster, where are they at? Right here, ladies and gentlemen, Judy and Corey. And Justin's parents, Joyce and William. Now it's time to go ahead and bring out our wedding party. So ladies and gentlemen, when our bride and groom come through those doors, we are going to scream and shout and give them a welcome they will never forget. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your wedding party, Lauren and Corey. Dana and David. Jackie and Eric. Your maid of honor, Jennifer, and the best man, Greg. And ladies and gentlemen, get up on your feet for the first time, Linda and Justin. Once again, your wedding party. We invite you now to take your seats. And before we get started with dinner, a little word from your bride and groom.
Hey everybody. This is the part of the night where I thank everybody for coming here. So Linda and I would like to thank all of you for joining us today. You know, we have folks from all over the country, from Chicago to Los Angeles, San Francisco, DC, and Vermont. And Alex, where are you? There he is. So Alex joined us from coming off the Pacific Crest Trail. He's at mile 1,845. So thanks, Alex. We really appreciate it. Thank you for coming. I'm pretty sure that most of you know that I work at High West, and in fact, my office is just upstairs. I'd like to thank the High West family, all the employees that are here, for putting on this night, because you know they are truly a family, and it's wonderful to be part of High West. There we go. We must also thank Linda's parents, Corey and Judy. Corey and Judy, for all your help with the festivities. When I met Linda, I thought she was the most sincere, kind, and caring person. And after I met you guys that 4th of July, you know, I knew where she got it from. To my folks, Joyce and William, thank you for all the love and support you've provided me over the years. I know I was probably a very challenging child, and it must have been really hard raising a perfect one. My love and thanks really go to Linda. You know, I'd like to say that I did a lot for tonight. And in fact, I didn't do that much, but Linda did it all. So thank you. I'd also like to thank you for being here. For being so beautiful and agreeing to marry me. So I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Where are those guys? To Corey, Dave, and Eric, thank you for always having my back. Appreciate you guys. And to best man, I hope you guys have met Greg. Thank you for bringing us back from Texas in one piece. And remember, anything that happened in Texas stays there. So thanks for that. We'd also like to thank Jennifer. Thank you for all the help with the wedding. You're fantastic. We really appreciate all your creative ideas. I mean, this is wonderful, so thank you. And finally, thank you to the bridesmaids, Jackie, Dana, and Lauren. You all mean the world to us. So thank you. So enjoy the rest of the party, and we really, again, really appreciate you all coming to Park City or to Wanship, where we are tonight, to join us in this celebration. So thank you all.
We are going to be doing our welcome toast, and we're going to bring up the father of the bride, Corey.
Thank you very much. When I was asked to give this speech just literally minutes ago, I thought, well, it's going to have to be pretty impromptu, but luckily I just happened to have something here that I could read off of. So, good evening, everyone. Judy and I would like to thank all of you for traveling near and far to celebrate Linda and Justin on this special day. What a wonderful ceremony, what a beautiful bride, and what a handsome groom. As I look around at all the tables, I see many familiar faces, faces of family members, faces of friends, and faces of people I recently met or will be meeting later. I'm sure that the people who could not be here to attend the wedding, as well as friends and relatives who are no longer with us, are thinking of Linda and Justin today. We are very happy that Linda has found the love of her life, and we are very happy to have Justin as our son-in-law. Judy and I have enjoyed getting to know Justin, and we see how loving and caring Linda and Justin are to each other. They really do make a good team, a great team. We have also enjoyed getting to know Justin's parents, William and Joyce. They are very thoughtful and caring people, and we look forward to continue strengthening our relationship with them and the rest of Justin's family. It seems like it was only yesterday when Judy woke up and said she was in labor and that we had to go to and that we had to go to the hospital, and we had to get there fast. As we drove, I suddenly realized that our camera was nearly out of film. For you of those that remember what film used to be. As we approached the 7-Eleven store, I asked Judy if she wouldn't mind if I made a quick stop to buy some film. Considering that her pain level was increasing by the minute, I probably shouldn't have even asked because I knew what the answer would be. Anyway, it was a good thing that we didn't stop because about 15 minutes after we arrived at the hospital, Linda was born. I guess Linda was very anxious to be born because she sure didn't waste any time. Judy recently came upon a birthday card that she had been saving. It was a birthday card we gave Linda on her first birthday. You know, you'll have to excuse my nerves because I've given a lot of public presentations, but I've never been more nervous than today. Inside the card was a poem that I had written to celebrate the occasion. And when I finished reading the poem, I realized that Linda has certainly achieved many things in life since then. And I'd like to share that poem with you now. For a sweet girl who's won. Do you remember that? Dearest little Linda, the big day is here at last. Every day is a day of learning. Soon crawling will be a thing of the past. As you get older and smarter, you'll do more and more things by yourself. You'll walk and talk and ride a bike, but you'll always be our little elf. Today is your day and yours alone, a day of celebration and fun. Little Linda, you're growing up, and today you're already one. Linda, you have become an amazing young woman, and we are very proud of you. And Jennifer, you too are amazing. A- And Linda is very fortunate to have you as her sister. Linda has always been a self-starter and has the ability to remain focused and organized. Throughout grammar school and high school, she had to divide her time between gymnastics and schoolwork, and she excelled at both. We always enjoyed having Linda live with us, and it was a big change when Linda started attending college. I can still remember the tears in our eyes as we said goodbye to Linda after we helped her move into her dormitory room at Bradley. We always enjoyed going on a road trip to visit Linda at Bradley, and we always enjoyed the times she came home for holidays and summer breaks. We are so proud of Linda that she graduated from Bradley, but it seemed to us that her 4 years in college went by in a flash. After Linda worked several years in the commercial insurance business, she enrolled at DePaul and earned an MBA degree. Since Linda was always interested in the food industry, especially in health food products, we were especially happy for her when the Blue Diamond Company offered her a marketing position in California. I told you I'm nervous.
They're really stuck together.
You see, I'm so glad to have a son-in-law. However, in our excitement and happiness for Linda, we almost forgot that her acceptance of the position in California meant that she would actually have to move to California. What a bummer. What made it even worse is the day that a huge truck appeared in front of our house and placed what is called a moving pod on our driveway. Every day, Linda would pack more and more of her possessions into the pod, and every day the pod constantly reminded us that Linda would soon be moving away. It took a while, but we eventually accepted the fact that Linda would soon be living in California. Finally, the pod was loaded, and the huge truck returned to our driveway and hauled the pod to California. Soon afterwards, Judy and I drove Linda to the airport so that she could start a brand new phase in her life. It's funny how things work out, but we now realize that it was Linda's destiny to earn her MBA and accept the position at Blue Diamond, because otherwise she might never have met Justin. So I guess everything really does happen for a reason. Linda and Justin, we are very happy for both of you. Separately, you are both very special, remarkable people, but together you are complete. You support and love each other, and we know that you will live a lifetime of happiness together as husband and wife. It is my pleasure to propose a toast to the happy couple. Please raise your glasses to the bride and groom, Mr. and Mrs. Justin Liu.
Cheers.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we all can agree that this was the most important speech that Corey gave to the state.
My parents must have realized they'd gotten a lemon. And so they tried again. And they got Linda. And I think they were far more pleased with the results. Although I'm not sure that Linda felt the same fondness towards us, at least not right away. She made several getaway attempts early on in her life. When she was probably only 2, our family visited the Field Museum. And when my parents turned away for just a moment, Linda grabbed the opportunity to flee, hightailing it out of there without so much as a glance back. She quickly was turned in by the family she'd strolled out with and reunited with us, much to her dismay. We visited Florida soon afterwards, and Linda decided to step into the deep end of the pool without her swimmies on, and she sunk like a rock. But my dad leapt in, fully clothed, and rescued her in a split second. Damn, 3-year-old Linda must have thought, foiled again. Her efforts were futile, for there was no escaping the Schuster family, try as she might. Eventually, Linda accepted her fate of growing up a Schuster. I took her under my wing and showed her the ropes, teaching her all the tricks to navigating the quirks of our family. Of course, I also had to torture her a bit along the way, as any decent, self-respecting older sister does. In Hawaii, we visited Hanama Bay, where there's these scores of hungry fish swarming in the water. Linda was very reluctant to get in. She's not really a fan of getting up close and personal with sea life. But I convinced her to wade in just a little bit and promised her the fish would leave her alone. Just as she was waist deep, I promptly emptied a huge bag of fish food all over her and watched her freak out as the fish swarmed all around her, nibbling at her toes. So yeah, I could totally be a jerk to Linda. But even though we'd fight, ultimately we were on each other's sides. We knew who the greater enemy really was: our parents. Linda and I did everything together, playing make-believe and dress-up, reading scenes from our favorite movie, Gone with the Wind, Legos, Barbies, paper dolls, and Playmobil, exploring the forest preserves, snow forts, swimming, and endless summer days when our parents were both at work and we got to watch a lot of trashy TV shows our strict parents would have never allowed, like Ricky Lake and Jerry Springer. We learned a lot those summers. Sorry, Mom and Dad. Linda was an endlessly enthusiastic partner in crime to whatever harebrained shenanigans I'd cooked up. She was always a good sport, whether we were staging an elaborate haunted house in our basement to convince our cousins that we had ghosts, or one time during our radio prank calling phase, when I convinced Linda to call a local radio show, and she somehow convinced on air the host that she was a 12-year-old child genius attending college, but she was having trouble fitting in socially and needed advice. When the host asked what her name was, Linda, thinking fast, looked around for inspiration. Table. What, the host asked? Table. My name is Table. Linda came up with that one on the spot. She was quite the improviser. Linda was the good daughter, practically perfect, really. It was super obnoxious. When my mom called to say she was coming home from work, Linda would scurry around, washing all the dishes, cleaning up the bathrooms. And when my mom got home, Linda would be smiling angelically as my mom showered her with praise and shot me filthy looks. Even now, as adults, Linda is the far more practical and responsible one. It definitely sometimes seems like she should be the older sister. Linda demonstrates the patience of a saint when I drag her on adventures where she would probably like to kill me, but she usually never lets on. Whatever crazy ideas I come up with, she's game. Like us spending a Valentine's Day sweating to the oldies in an exercise class led by Richard Simmons. She even got dragged into the middle of the circle and danced with him, even though she was a little scared. She's always on my side, even when I'm totally in the wrong and definitely don't deserve it. She has my back, even if I've gotten us kicked out of the Art Institute or stuck in Maui on the twisting, treacherous road to Hana in a monsoon. So you're welcome, Justin. I think I taught Linda the lesson of patience, and now she is primed to put up with you. She doesn't have a selfish bone in her body. If there are 2 slices of cake, Linda will always give you the bigger one, the better one. She sacrifices her own needs for those that she loves. She dropped everything to drive multiple times from Sacramento to Los Angeles to take care of me after surgeries. She drove 6+ hours each way again one weekend just to help me with a yard sale to raise money for my dog's medical care. She'll do whatever is in her power to ensure that everyone around her is happy. She has the biggest heart. If I hurt, she hurts. She's the kind of sister everyone should be so fortunate to have. I'm not quite sure how I got so lucky. I got the better end of the sister deal for sure. Linda, I might be older, but I've always looked up to you. And it's not just because you're taller than me. So I could go on and on about me and Linda, and I get it. You're probably thinking she already has. But I guess I need to mention the new J in her life, Justin, who I now have to share her with. I'm not that good at sharing, but I guess I don't have much of a choice. I remember when I first heard about him, it was Christmas time, and she showed me his profile on OkCupid. He'd messaged her, and she asked me what I thought. It said he played the guitar and loved Wilco, my favorite band, so I was like, okay, he's okay. Yeah, he sounds good. I was like, he looks cute. Message him back. I just had a feeling about him, and he must have realized pretty quickly that Linda was a keeper, because he was whisking her off to Mexico less than a month after meeting her, and they've been together ever since. They are different in many ways, but they balance each other out perfectly. Justin's a morning bird, Linda's a night owl. Justin is a great cook. Linda is really good at making rice-a-roni. Linda hates shopping. Justin adores it. Especially for outdoorsy stuff, I think he single-handedly keeps Patagonia in business. Justin definitely challenges Linda and expands her horizons. Let's just say never in a million years did I think my sister would receive fly fishing gear for her birthday. He pushes her out of her comfort zone, but he also knows where to draw the line. Like when they're at a fancy chef's dinner and Justin eats Linda's serving of pig's ear salad when no one is looking, because he knows that while Linda is open to new experiences, eating a pig's face is just not going to happen. Linda can truly be herself with Justin, and that's what makes me the most happy when I think about them as a couple. If you didn't know, Linda's a little quirky. Just ask her to do the Grinch walk later on the dance floor, and you'll see. But in getting to know Justin, I was very pleasantly surprised to discover that he can totally be goofy and super weird too. In a good way, but I will not elaborate too much on that right now because we are at his place of employment. But they love each other for those quirks that make them each so unique, not in spite of them. Speaking of the Grinch, I came across a Dr. Seuss quote that seemed fitting. We are all a little weird, and life is a little weird. And when we find someone whose weirdness is compatible with ours, we join up with them and fall in mutual weirdness and call it love. When I visited Linda and Justin this past winter, we got stuck in the highway in a blizzard. It was whiteout conditions. It was terrifying. But somehow we felt safe and secure as Justin drove us very carefully home, navigating us through terrible road conditions and delivering us home to safety. We had complete faith in him with our lives in our hands. Linda and Justin, you'll face many more storms in your lives, but I know that together you will help guide each other to safety. Linda, you're the best person that I know. Thank you for the honor and the privilege of the past 33 years. No one will ever know me as well as you do. We know what each other is thinking with just facial expressions. We can get super annoyed with each other, but make up just as quickly and act insane, drink lots of wine, and laugh until we cry and pass out on the couch. Thank you for being my confidant, my therapist, my biggest fan, supporter, sous chef, sidekick, nurse, wine-tasting partner, adventure buddy, and the best apples-to-apples partner. Thank you. Thank you for being my sister, my role model, my best and closest friend. I can't imagine this world without you in it. Justin, welcome to the family. You hit the jackpot, and don't you ever forget it. I will make sure you never forget it. I'm pretty scrappy. Linda knows that I don't put up with any nonsense from anyone. So take the greatest care of her. Cook her favorite meals. Bring her lots of Fat Boy ice cream sandwiches. Let her watch Teen Mom without judgment. Play the guitar for her and sing her songs. Love her as best as you know how every day of your life. Treasure her always. She's the best the Schusters have to offer.
Once again, our bride, Table's sister. Table. Where people not listen. Table. That's her new nickname. Now we're going to bring now we're going to bring up the best man, Greg.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I apologize if I'm about to offend anyone, except for Justin. Love you, buddy. My name's Greg, and I am the best man. Emphasis on best. Let's say we've been Justin-free for an hour and a half now. I would like to have everyone give themselves a big pat on the back for whatever involvement you had in getting this man hitched. That includes you, Linda. We're all in a better place now for it. Does everyone have a drink in hand, I hope? We're going to need a little soon. If not, please visit the bartender. Speaking of drinks, I hope there are no recovering alcoholics out there. We are in a distillery. The irony. But I digress. We are here on a momentous occasion. Please give a big round of applause for Justin and Linda, everybody. Linda, you look stunning. Justin, you clean up all right. I've known Justin for 15 years now, give or take a year. Many of you have known him for much longer, you poor bastards. For comparison, I met Linda less than 72 hours ago. What's up with that, bro? I think Justin forgot I was the best man. Where are Justin's parents? I think they're right over here. So how fast do you guys want grandchildren? Sure. Slip me a few Benjamin Franklins later on, and I can make sure the production starts tonight. Where are, Linda's parents, right here. Match the lose offer, and second production goes into place tonight. Now it's Linda's turn. I saved the best for last. Well, hold up, second best since I'm the best man. Linda, I'll make this short and sweet. From experience, Justin will always be there for the greatest times and the saddest times in your life. As mentioned earlier, the poor bastards and myself can vouch for Justin. But there is one caveat. You will now have to deal with all of Justin's BS. So, from Justin's family and friends, hold on. I lost my place. With much love, we pass this baton on to you. Yes, it's very heavy. If you ever hold it so slightly, you can even hear Justin's BS. But we are all confident you can run with it. So, on your marks, get set, go. So please, all raise your glasses in the air. for one toast. Some last words of advice for the lovebirds. Life is far too short. Never ever sweat the small stuff, and never stop loving each other. Cheers.
That's beautiful.
That's so cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, we invite you now to come on into the dance hall, ballroom, whatever we're going to call it. And we're going to do something very special. Before we get started tonight, we are going to do what is called the love story. We have friends and family gathering from all over, from different coasts, and not a lot of people know this story about how Justin and Linda met and fell in love. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to dive into their love story. Once upon a time, December 27th, 2014 to be exact, a fair maiden named Linda and a dashing gentleman named Justin met with the strike of Cupid's arrow. Okay, Cupid, that is. In the lands of Central Valley and Sacramento, California, knowing you have a predetermined 95% compatibility score with someone before ever laying their eyes on them is the stuff of fairy tales. And that's what it was. It also helps that Linda thought Justin was really cute in his photos and thoughtful in his messages. And Sister Jennifer approved in his cuteness, and he was not a loser. Both Linda and Justin were out of town with their families for the holiday season, so after talking and texting for a week or two, they had their first date on January 11th, 2015. They made up for sushi, at least for Justin to have sushi. Linda has never tried sushi till this day. They met at Mikini in Sacramento. And Linda played hard to get for the first 10 minutes of the date by making Justin wonder if she was even going to show up. And the truth is she couldn't find a parking spot because she cannot parallel park. So they quickly learned how to be apologetic to each other by constantly apologizing to their waitress for talking over an hour to order their food because they simply could not stop chatting with each other. Wasting no time after dinner, they also shared their first kiss that night. Ooh. Right there on a street corner in Sacramento, after Justin walked Linda to her car. That's quite bold there, Justin. Now, Linda shared that Justin won her over by just being a gentleman and having a lot in common and having a similar sense of humor. Justin was won over by this really nice night they had together. Now, they both just ghosted all the people they had talked online with. Now, if you don't know what ghosting is, that is millennial for stop talking to everybody online except for the person that you love. And so there they were, talking and talking. And every time they would get together, they'd talk for hours on the phone anytime they couldn't be together in person. The magic of this fairy tale continued into more actual dates and to love. Sweet, sweet love. Colors seemed more vivid, birds sang in unison, and small woodland animals followed in pairs wherever they went, including to Vail, Colorado on Thursday, August 11th, 2016. Justin invited Linda to Denver to visit his parents smack dab in the middle of a very important purchase for work. This ended up being the perfect combination for her to suspect nothing. On the drive from Utah, Justin suggested a restaurant, Mountain Standard in Vail, for dinner. Having never been, Linda was up for adventures in spite of wearing her sitting in the car for 7 hours clothes. Strategically, they arrived about an hour early for their reservation, the perfect amount of time for them to walk up to the ideal place in Justin's mind, next to a stream running down through town. However, his nerves got the better of him when a ton of people were in his spot. They kept walking and ended up on a bridge. Now, Linda had a funny feeling when Justin had run back to the car earlier for his fuzzy purple Patagonia vest. That must be quite the vest. She was on to something because that is where he had hidden the ring. Back to the bridge, Justin started to get serious and talk about the relationship. When Linda finally realized what was happening, he got down on one knee. After she told him he had to, and proposed. Clearly, she said yes. But the surprises don't end there. He had a beautiful room reserved at the Sonalap that night. The next morning, he kept slightly annoying Linda under the guise of enjoying their time together until they got to Denver by not letting her call anybody, or her parents or Jennifer, to tell them the news. What she didn't know was that her parents had flown from Chicago to Denver and were waiting at his parents' home. When Linda arrived to Justin's parents' door, her mom and dad answered. She was totally surprised, and Justin's trifecta of surprises was complete. Big round of applause to Justin. Which brings us to where we are today. All of us have gathered here to celebrate with Justin and Linda as they continue the next chapter of their story. To start this off right, Justin and Linda have dedications they want to share to each other. This is Justin's dedication to Linda. In his own words, he says, "I am so happy that I get to spend the rest of my life with you. Life with you is just fun, and now I get to forever cook for 2 people. And I promise to keep on cooking. And now I knew you were the one for me when I moved from California to Utah. It sounds kind of strange, but I'm physically moving away from you, but emotionally closer to you at the same time. It's because I knew that you would follow me, and you did. You are my favorite person, my better half, and I'm so fortunate to have you as my partner in life. The love and support that you give me is amazing. I just hope I'm returning the favor. I love you." Linda's tribute to Justin, and in her words, "Justin, I'm so glad I never deleted my OkCupid account and that we found each other. I have no idea where my life would be taken if I hadn't found you, but I guarantee I wouldn't be living in Utah, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm so lucky to be with you, and I love you with all my heart. I'll always be by your side. You're my favorite person, tied with myself, of course. I'm excited to start this new adventure with you as my partner." That is Linda to Justin. That is their love story.